This episode of the Relationship Status Podcast is brought to you by the Southern Elegance Candle Company, where modern values meet Southern charm. Right now, check out their fall and holiday collection with candle scents such as caramel latte, fireside, sweet potato and brown sugar, and our personal favorite, orange spice. The scent is cloves wrapped in a citrusy orange essence that takes you all the way back to grandma's house. This one is sure to be your favorite, just like it is ours. So visit secandleco.com and use our promo code CRUX, that's CRUX, for 15% off all regularly priced items. That's secandleco.com, where they lovingly craft each scent and city combination to elicit a fond memory to whisk you to a place of pure joy.
Welcome back to Relationship Status. It's your girl, Neat Cruz.
CL Butler.
And your boy, Yusuf in the building. And remember, you can catch us on all podcast platforms. Remember, you can follow us on all social media platforms at RELSTAT Podcast. If you want to join the conversation, email us, RELSTATpodcast@gmail.com, or hit us in the voicemail, 843-310-8637. Neek, we are back for another week with the good people to give them some good vibes. How are your vibes this week?
All good.
All good?
All good.
All good vibes this week.
All smiles.
Okay, all smiles. CL, my good brother.
I'm
my
great.
brother from another mother.
I'm great.
Great?
I'm great.
All good vibes this
my
week?
My vibe is there. I guess it's in check.
Your vibe is in
Yeah,
check.
my
You passed the
vibrations.
vibe-
No, my
vibe check.
vibrations are vibrating.
They're vibrating.
They're vibrating.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go ahead and get into our episode today. We are blessed to have communication specialists, I would say, on. His name is Mr. Rob Howard III. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Give it a little applause.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
How you doing today, Mr. Howard III?
Fabulous, incredible, ravishing.
All right. Ravishing. Okay. Well, I am CL Butler II. So, so we got a second and a third.
We got a second and a third.
Okay.
Well,
and a
I'm-
first.
I'm Neat Cruz the first.
Okay. The first.
And
Okay.
I am a first. I'm actually a first now.
You are a first.
Yes.
You are a first.
My son is a second.
Your son is the second.
Yes.
Okay.
Amir is actually a second.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm first of my name. Nobody gets the Game of Thrones reference. I know Rob. I know
I know.
Mr. Howard does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they suck. Yeah. How you don't watch
You
Game of
know
Thrones?
he always throws us under the
Jesus
bus.
Christ, man.
I can't
Might be
stand
the
that
greatest show in TV history.
I just
I don't
couldn't get
know
into it.
about
Okay, what's better?
Martin, fight me.
Martin?
Martin,
I don't know about better, but I do enjoy a good Martin. But
you can watch Martin at any time of your life.
Can you?
I can't.
I can't.
Oh,
Oh,
he doesn't watch. He's never watched Martin.
I
right?
have watched. I watched.
He doesn't enjoy Martin
I
at
don't
all.
enjoy
He
it.
doesn't even think it's funny.
I don't think it's funny.
my.
I think it's like bits and pieces are funny, but it's not that great to me either.
Yeah, it's nice.
We should have told you this before pre-interview, huh? Probably wouldn't have just been me and you on.
This is a genuine connection here. Like, okay, we care about Martin, and they have no love for
None.
Nah.
None.
No, I have a love for him. But
I like his movies. I like some of his stand up, but the show Martin.
Martin
I'm
is
out.
it's a good show.
I'm outside.
It's decent. It's something to watch while you're going to sleep.
Wow.
I wouldn't say that.
The blasphemy.
I will say that.
The blasphemy.
You don't have to.
Wow.
I wouldn't say that.
I would say that because that's what
Nah.
I do.
Let me say I wouldn't say that.
It comes on late at night and it's something good to cut on while you go to sleep.
Mr. Howard, she is Afro-Latino for whatever it means.
Oh
I don't
wow!
know what that means, but maybe in their
You
culture,
threw that out there like that. Like, yeah, we don't understand her.
Yeah, it's like-
no.
Martina or something.
What?
That's what they call it. Okay.
Well,
like from back when there was DVDs. I have the DVD collection of Martin.
Also,
that's class.
Wow.
I give you that one.
A reel of a Martin.
you have a DVD player.
I had one. I don't even have one no more.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
I was about to
Okay.
say, they don't even make them no more, do they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
They still,
Cars.
Oh yeah, they do have DVDs.
You said they make them for cars.
Yeah, like the old form of media here.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show, Rob. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us. First off, where are you from?
Inglewood, Los Angeles,
Wood?
California, America, Earth.
The wood?
Yeah, Inglewood.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that you, for our listeners, what is it exactly that you do?
I'm a facilitator. I get to help people talk to each other, connect with each other, and then like where there's like conflict, I help them heal, repair, or move forward as well as possible. Sometimes it's not going to be rainbow and butterflies, but how do you move forward? Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you get into that? How'd you choose that particular line of work?
It kind of low-key chose me. So my mom I'm an only child.
Mm.
My mom was like everybody's mom. She was like at school all the time. The classroom mom, like the block mom. She fed people's babies. She made sure their grades was doing what they were supposed to be doing. Like she was one of those people. So my siblings were all fake. They weren't like blood siblings, but because of her way caring for other people, I had family like that. So watching the way that she cared for people, like strangers, adults, kids, whatever, that like put a print on me. And then in college, I switched from hella different majors, finally focus on Africana studies, learning more about myself and my culture, people from the continent and how that spread throughout the world. And I had no idea what the heck I was going to do with that degree. I was like, I don't know how you make money with this thing. I know I learned, but what do you do to make money? And I met somebody and they were like, there's this nonprofit in Long Beach that does these programs where they take people up to the mountains for like this weekend and they learn more about their culture and each other's culture and oppression and racism and all the isms and how to like get together and like be more respectful and tolerant to each other. I was like, that sounds cool. I mean, are they paying? Is there benefits? And I end up like joining that org, getting trained, working for them for like 7 years while pursuing music. Like it was my check while pursuing the dream. And doing those programs, I was facilitating. I had to sit in a space or stand in a space to get people to talk to each other. And I loved it. I would do it for free. I would do all the programs. I started doing it for contracts, eventually got hired. And I loved it. And that kind of turned into this, where now I charge people or I do it for free on TikTok. And it pays for all the good stuff, all the fun stuff in my life.
All right.
Facilitation pays for that.
So what is the official title?
I have a couple. I don't have no jobs, but everything that I do is through a contract through my business. My business is called Talking in Circle LLC because we use the old tool of sitting in a circle. I don't know if you've ever been at a campfire or a breakfast table and you go around and people answer the question, or Alcoholics Anonymous or different spiritualities have that.
I played Duck Duck Goose before, so
concept. You be in a circle and talk, play the game. You can see the tool. But if you go back far enough in anyone's ancestry, all people of all ancestries used to sit in circles before like society changed and made that not weird. And people had power and they would stand up and other people would sit down and listen. But back in the day, everybody would be in a circle. So with schools, I do something called restorative justice. So I'm the director of restorative practices or restorative justice in a school district. And then other contracts, I'm like lead program director or camp director or this and that. Like it's just a bunch of different titles depending on the work.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So so what is it like? How would they get to you? What point do they come to you and say, hey, look, I need a communication specialist?
Yeah.
And how do they get to you, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, now the word is out a little bit more, and I've done enough trainings and workshops and conferences that people are like, oh, this guy, he's really good. It's kind of like The Fixer. What's the I never watched it. Scandal.
Okay.
Oh,
The Fixer with Olivia Pope.
Olivia Pope.
And
terrible TV, but okay.
I never watched that show, but I know the concept.
Watch it.
Right? So like people who face a problem might hit other people in their network. Like, is there a person that can come and fix this? Oh yeah, I know a guy. And I'll get an email and it's like, the situation's hot. My favorite way is not that. My favorite way is to start before there is a actual crazy hot problem. To establish some cultural norms. Like, this is how we should talk to each other. This is what respect looks like. These are the things we want to keep in mind as far as identity and culture, gender, sexual orientation, race, ethnicity, age, hierarchy of power, all that stuff. Like, keep in mind that when you're talking to a person, you're talking to them and they see different things. Like, there's prejudice, there's bias, there's all this stuff that could come up that impacts the way we feel when you're saying or doing what you're doing. So that's my favorite place to start. And now that I'm doing well with social media, people hit me up in my DM like, hey, you want to come do a workshop? You want to come do this training? What do you have to offer that can help us with this problem?
Mm-hmm.
Like, find me online.
Okay. Because people need to talk.
Heck yeah. Families do too. Like, it's not just corporate and school no more. It's like
Absolutely.
families will hit me up and I'll jump on Zoom with them.
So how young do you start the communication process? I mean, do you go into like elementary schools, primary schools, or high school?
All of it. So like in the school district that I'm like majority contracted with, it's a district wide move to shift culture, to have people respect each other's cultures, to talk more, to not expect other people to come in and save the day or fight the fire or fix the problem. That you are more invested in yourself. But if you have a group that cares about people on both sides, blah, 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 that starts at elementary school. And it's not just kids, it's the staff. Because most of the things that kids learn is from watching how adults mess with each other or don't mess with each other well. So yeah, elementary school for sure.
Elementary schools are okay.
Yeah.
Do you get couples contacting you saying, hey, look, we need, she don't listen to me, I need her to listen to me?
Yes. Yeah.
How do I make her listen?
So
couples too.
How do you help them? What do you pretty much do in those cases? Because it's got to be different than dealing with two coworkers at the job that can't get along.
Yeah, no, though, but like it is different. The assessment is a little more slowed down with a company, with a lot of people. I have to talk to leadership. I have to talk to some people who are not in leadership with a larger org or system like that. With a couple, is like person A, person B. I don't know the problem, but there's clearly something that you want to either start doing better or fix the issue that isn't working, to stop doing this other thing. And the tools are really simple. We don't start with the problem. We start with communication. How do you talk to each other? Right. And not just the verbal. How well do you listen to each other? Can you repeat back what you thought they said? Is that what you thought you said? Because they heard this. Like, those tools are the beginning of it.
Okay.
So effective listening is a big part of it. Because a lot of people don't talk about effective listening a lot when they talk about communication, but it is a big part of communication.
Yeah. We say communication, and it should be communication is listening and sharing. I think listening to understand and sharing to be understood, or vulnerably, is another way I say it. Those are the tools. That's what communication is. If I'm just talking, this podcast is going to be trash today.
Okay.
I got to hear what you're saying. I got to listen to your question. I got to pay attention to like the cues that you're saying with your facial expressions and the head nods, and you know what I mean?
So what is Neek saying right now?
Neek is saying that she agrees with what I just said. Listening is important.
Okay.
Body language.
Body language. Okay.
Well, go ahead, Z.
On you.
Okay. So what has been what would be like probably your most difficult, I can't say customer, or most difficult client that you have? Who would be more considered the most difficult client, men or women?
Ooh.
Or hold on a second now. Hold on.
Let him answer the question.
No, I mean, I want to help him because we want to stay politically correct.
Does not need
it all depends on what you identify as. So, in what identification is the biggest problem?
Yeah.
A cis man.
Wow.
The harm that heterosexual cisgender men in power have created.
Ooh, look at that king speaking.
The ability to see themselves as the problem that caused harm. Even if they're like, well, I'm a good person, I have good intentions, they can't see the harm that they cause. They don't know they're smashing the flowers and knocking things over. They don't see it. And that, on top of what they do that's harmful, the blindness to it, I would say men. Yeah.
That's a good safe
Men
answer
are-
here. It's a good
are-
safe answer.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
wasn't
don't
the answer I
listen,
was
they're
looking for,
stubborn.
though.
You can't.
Probably because you know you're hard
That
headed.
wasn't the answer.
Like what?
Okay.
I'm the problem.
But it starts with men.
Yeah.
More so, Neek.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue it.
Of course you're not. You're
Of course, well, I'm not going to argue.
If you think about systems of oppression, we just name a couple quick ones, right? Like sexism is a system of oppression, right?
Yeah.
So there's a group that has power and there's a group that gets targeted or disadvantaged by that system, whether you like it or not, you created it or not, it's
Mhm.
out there. But then you can go age, you can go class,
Yes.
sexual orientation,
Mhm.
religion, spirituality, gender expression. Like we can keep rocking and going down all these lists, right?
Gender expression. I have never. That's definitely a Cali term. Gender.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Wow. Gender expression.
This transgender is in gender expression, right?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So like biologically, whatever they said on the paper, what color beanie they put on the baby, that is sex, like biological sex. But
Okay.
gender expression shows up differently. Cisgendered, when I walk in a room, people see my gender and they usually assume it correctly because of what they think about gender.
Mm-hmm.
Some people walk in a room and they call them a he or him, but that gender is not what fits that person.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
You know, and we didn't ask. What do you identify as?
He, him, his.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to ask that question.
So I prefer
Okay, I
gender pronouns.
Okay. Wow. I got a little uncomfortable there. I didn't know what's going on. I was like, did we go too far? Or rule number 1 is listening. Is that correct? Okay.
Actually, I don't even use rules, but yes.
You don't use rules. Explain that.
So on the board, like if we were doing a workshop, I would start with group agreements, or
Mhm.
Group agreements.
right? They're either agreements or guidelines that we strive for, because implying of a rule is like if you break the rule, what happens? And then you got to talk about the enforcer and what's the consequences and the punishment. And all that.
Mhm.
Well, as opposed to doing that, I use agreements or guidelines because if I mess up, if I fall off, it's my job to try to pull myself back, but it's the group's job to also remind me of what we agreed to. We said we're going to use one mic, one person talking at one time. Or we said that we was going to speak from the heart and tell our truth. We said that we are going to listen to understand. We said that we were going to not yuck people's yums, right? Like it don't got to be something you agree with. If that person likes that or believes that or does that, that's theirs. You can share your opinion, but don't yuck it.
Oh.
Like these
So,
are
I like
agreements.
that. I like that too.
Mhm.
Okay. So is that why the 4 agreements are the 4 agreements versus the 4 rules?
It's hard to live under these rules. We live in a society that loves laws and loves rules.
I love rules. I'm just a rules guy. Like that's the rule.
You
Like
really are.
And I get it. Some
I
people
don't feel oppressed when I hear rules. I'd be like, okay, these are the guidelines. So if I'm a cheat, I can't break these rules.
right, or I deal with the consequences of making that choice.
Yes. So agreements better fit.
Communication.
Okay. Is that does that also work for couples
Yeah.
or is that better for a group?
Yeah, I think you should have agreements in couples. What I find is, and we can go all far, far left. But
Okay, go left.
Let's go left.
really, really, really well with communication. I'm not gonna gas y'all. The community that does really, really well with communication, even around love, sex, touch, consent, is the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
Or the kink community. They have to talk way more, and they do talk way more.
Mm-hmm.
Heterosexual, cisgendered, monogamous, traditional couples, right? They talk about everything. Just because 2 dudes are gay or two girls are gay or whatever doesn't mean they're a compatible match, or that their sex is going to match, or that they're looking for the same thing. Like they have to talk about all kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
So the conversation and the way they have conversation is normalized, where me and a woman who might find each other attractive and want to talk to each other, we don't really talk about all the stuff. We don't talk about, well, how do you like this? Or what do you think about this? Or how do you feel about this? And what's your preference of this? Or what gets you off this way? Like, we don't talk like that.
Mhm.
We just assume that what I like is what you like, and what you like is what I like. And we're just going to do that unless it hurts or it's uncomfortable. Then you should tell me. And then maybe I'm quick enough to stop. That's a lot. Some people would say we should probably have a conversation about those things first.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Okay. Well, not being the devil's advocate, but let me pose a question here.
Yeah.
Do you think the LGBTQ community handles it better just because of the age of their community?
Yeah, I
Versus
think
maybe heterosexuals being
yeah, it's a culture after the dominant culture, right? So
Okay.
they have the privilege of going, this doesn't work for us.
Yeah, they can see where we failed.
And it's like, that's trash. Let's do something different.
Mhm.
What is this? And then they can tweak and remix and evolve. While we're stuck in our traditional ways that we've picked up from Western, white, wealthy, Christian stuff.
Yes.
See,
I
now,
love it.
well, what I would say is, and I didn't think about it in that way until you posed that question, CL.
Mhm.
Like,
Uh-huh.
they have the ability and
Yes.
the privilege. I would
Yeah.
say the privilege
Okay.
of there being really no conformity to or rule settings or anything.
Yeah, there's
They're literally
nothing.
setting it as they go. Whereas, like you said,
We feel like we have to abide by the rules of
Yeah.
society.
not
those boxes, those rules. This is
Mhm.
what a man does, this is what a woman does, this is what a couple's supposed to do or not do.
yeah.
By being countercultural, after the dominant culture has messed them up and oppressed them, they go, let's talk about this. You know what? That's trash. We should never do that. Like, they can look at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
And we don't even talk about it.
And they can change it.
Yeah.
And you didn't go to school necessarily for communication. It was African American studies.
Yeah.
And you dove into communication because you saw a need.
Yeah.
It found you, but did you once it found you, did you find the need?
Yeah, I was pursuing music. I was writing R&B, I was DJing, I was making beats. My goal was to get on in the music game. I wanted to be like a version of the celebrity CEO, like Diddy, Swizz, Timbo, Ho. Like, I wanted to be in that space because I'm smart. I'm super, super smart. And I can look at strategies for this, and that. I knew a bunch of talented folks. And I knew that I believed in their talent. And with these things combined, we could do that. Mind you, I'm like in the community doing like gang intervention over here and like cultural trainings for this company over here, doing all this stuff over here in the daytime, and then at night, studio, club, stuff like that. And then I'm like, I don't think this music thing is gonna go the way I thought it was gonna go. Actually, I don't want it to anymore.
Okay.
My life, like, I don't want to be writing songs I don't really care about or having people sing and chant and dance to things that I don't really believe they should listen to over and over and over again, just to try to get to a house or a Lambo or something. Like, I'm off that. So once that thing fell apart and died, and I made the decision to consistently go back to the thing that I'm also passionate about with community and people, my business mind clicked and was like, this will never go away unless somehow in my lifetime I'm able to solve all the problems that cause people not to rock with each other. So there is an inherent longevity in this thing. And the nonprofit world doesn't really pay a lot. But I was like, actually, one of my homeboys was working for Russell Simmons at the time. He's like, bro, you should probably quit and like do this as a contractor. They're paying you crumbs and getting bags with the grants, getting bags with the big contracts, but they couldn't do it without you. The fact that you're actually a Black man who looks and talks and moves how you move is valuable to their team, but you could make your own team or be your own person and just make a lot more money. And I was like,
you should make money.
A lot.
Making for like a raise for like $1.
Yeah. Okay. Like, I know when it comes down to communication, I was taught by my parents, or mostly my mama and my aunts. And maybe this is a woman thing, and I'm not even sure this is a real thing, but they've always said to use small words. And I was like, is that a good thing? Is that a good rule?
I think it's a good idea for sure. Because I think what comes with that is being understood.
Okay.
Less misunderstandings when you speak clear and short, concise.
Short. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Short sentences.
Yeah.
Small words.
Stephen A. Smith or like Neil
deGrasse Tyson. I mean,
Neil deGrasse. Yeah. Like when I watch them, it's almost like they're juggling with words. They're throwing words in the air, and I don't always know all the things that they're saying. And I'm impressed by the word choice, and I don't always know what that word means. I can put it together, but I'm not walking away like he said this, he meant this.
Yeah.
Right. But when people speak short and clear, it's kind of hard to confuse that as much.
So they were giving me good advice.
It's a good game.
I was going to ask, what exactly are small words?
Small words, like no.
That everybody can understand.
No, I don't want to do that.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yes, or yes.
It would make for a bad podcast, though, right? Like when you explained it because he asked for clarity, more than one word.
Oh yeah,
example, right?
Yeah.
I think sometimes in a relationship we get frustrated with people who don't speak long because it's like, I want it more. Give me more to work with. I've experienced that mediating conflict with male female.
Okay.
He doesn't say much. He doesn't talk. Might be what they start with the message. And when we talk together, I heard him say no. I heard him say, I don't like that.
That's a good word there. No.
Yeah.
Like, well, if he said that, then he did communicate. He just didn't give you the soliloquy. He didn't give you the poem. He didn't give you the explanation. And that's what you wanted. You wanted more. And he wasn't with it. He actually feels offended that you wanted more from him when his no was enough.
Or it should have been enough.
Or you should ask a different question to get more from him. If you ask me a yes or no question and I just give you yes or no, don't get mad that I just gave you yes or no. Ask a different question.
I think it's because we're wanting a different answer than we've gotten. So we end up getting mad at the answer that, you're providing because that's not what we wanted to hear.
Well, he provided an answer for you. Ask the right question.
Yeah.
Because I may not know, and I'm guilty of this. I'm going to answer the question you asked me.
I'm not answering nothing else.
I'm not real good on answering the other stuff because I don't know what you mean. Like,
well, it doesn't even have to be that. You can just not be giving me the answer that I want.
That's what I just said. I'm communicating that to you.
No, you said
that's
asking
literally
the correct.
That's literally what
asking
I just said.
You're correct. Asking the correct question. But if I'm asking you the question I want the answer to, you're just not giving me the answer that I want. You're giving me the answer that you feel like you need to give to this question. Like that can still be
okay. Ms. Stout, we're gonna watch your skills in live action here.
Yes.
Me and Neek are having a communication gap here.
Yeah.
And maybe this happens with me and Neek. I feel like I said something and then she repeats what I said. And when I say I said it.
Did I repeat what he said?
It was eerily similar.
You paraphrase. Yeah.
Huh.
What did you hear?
You're wrong. That doesn't mean you're right. What are you talking about?
What did you hear him say?
Well, first I started off with the statement.
Okay.
And you came back and said, well, you have to ask the right question. I didn't say ask the wrong question. I asked the question. I didn't like the answer.
Look.
Huh?
I asked you a question. I said, what did you hear him say?
What I hear him say?
Yeah. You started with was like what happened.
See?
What did you hear him say?
I heard him say that I need to ask the right question.
And when you heard him say that, where did your mind go?
That's not what I said.
So, CL.
Yes.
What did you hear her say? Like, what was her question?
I don't know. I was confused. She threw me for a loop. I was like, well, okay. I literally just said you have to ask the right question.
Right question.
Yeah, it's good. That's the correct question. I said, I have a problem with that because I'm going to answer what you asked me. If you ask me about this, I'm going to answer that question. I don't know what you mean all the time.
And you didn't ask for clarity. You answered what you heard and was like, let's move on. Right? Like, boom.
Yeah.
Job done.
Mm-hmm.
And the conflict is actually in where you're trying to get to, which is what I think Neek is saying. Like, I wanted to go somewhere. I wanted something to happen. I had a hope, an idea, an expectation for A, B, and C to happen. And you answering the question, but also not per se understanding the whole scene. What the question was, her expectation, where she wanted to go, or giving her something else to work with, made her feel something. So then she did this, then you did this, and that's where the conflict gets hotter. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yep.
It does. That does.
Makes perfect
What
sense.
I asked, like what you heard the other person say, is the best way to slow it down. And you don't even have to have a third person or a mediator to say that, or a moderator or facilitator to say that. When I hear Neek speak to me, even if I assume that I'm right, of what I heard her say, I can go, so what I heard you say is this, and then answer that question. And then ask that question of, did I get that right? And just slow it down, right? Did I get it right?
Mm-hmm.
That question leads Neek to go, that's not actually what I was trying to ask. Or that's not what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happens on Neek's side. If Neek's asking a question and CL says A, B, and C as an answer, and it feels like, that's not what I intended. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not how I wanted to make you feel. It seems like you got da-da-da-da-da. You can go, my fault. What I was trying to say is, or what I was hoping would happen was, or what I meant was, and like slow it down, back it up, and get on the same page, as opposed to like the friction that happens. And it happens.
Is that?
Well, the reason I'm baffled is because I started off saying I don't have the intel to figure out what you mean. I know what you asked me, and then I'm just like, oh, this is what you asked me. So
but earlier,
asked me.
But earlier we talked about listening to understand and answering or speaking to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
We just move like that, especially men. Like we talk to each other in a certain way, especially in the cultures that are like very masculine, like sports or business. That it's not a lot of slow down in there. It's like the play is this. Yeah. Like this is the play. Run the play. Be where you're supposed to be. This is what that means. Not to break it down and analyze. Right. So we think with these minds that come from these other places. That you're right and valuable for doing it quickly and just moving on. That's not the way everybody else's culture, especially women culture, rocks. So if you're speaking to be understood, short and clear, not clear on the question or misinterpreting what is supposed to happen from this question, because a question means something. I want to take you somewhere. Every question that I ask on my TikTok, I am intending to take someone somewhere. I want them to feel or do something. Same thing when Neek asks a question or makes her point. If you're not clear where it is and you just answer the question, you're moving so fast and it's further than or not in the right spot. So what I'm saying is you're right. And those things work where it works, but where it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you have to know where to apply them.
Yeah. Slow it down.
Neek is one who can extend most conversations where I just want to like say, hey, there's the answer.
Let's get to the next thing.
Okay.
But the conflict is not
on a podcast.
The conflict is not in what you guys are saying or what you're asking. The conflict is actually in the ideas of conversation. Okay. The next thing. She's like, let's slow it down. Let's break that down. Let's unpack that. Let's debrief this. Right? Let me talk about feelings. Let me talk about story.
Even if you didn't say any of that, you just said it. I totally understand.
Right. But when I hear Neek and I heard you say that these are our styles, the conflict is not in the person or in what you said. It's in the styles.
Okay.
And you'll always be in conflict until those styles are like respected and you use tools to help it be less hot.
Oh.
But I think the heat is what makes our show be what it is, though.
Well,
that's where the jokes are. That's where the spice, the clips can come from.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to keep that. I don't need y'all.
We don't need to change it ourselves.
I don't need no resolution to conflict here, sir.
It's like that first take energy. We're just gonna argue. Like we're not even gonna have a point.
And when you have conflict, people pick sides. So there's going to be a group of people like, yeah, I agree with CL. And I don't even like that other person over there. Right? Okay. Coke versus Pepsi, red versus blue, or versus that. Like, that is good entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we give good entertainment.
Yeah, okay. at times.
Yes.
All the time.
Now, do we have any personal communication questions we need to ask? Maybe you help us on a personal front a little bit.
When you say personal, are you talking about like relationship?
I don't know what they need. I
always say
I don't know. I don't know. I just I just try to pay for what I can afford and just go with what I can go with. Like, hey, you know what? That's not gonna kill me. So let's do it.
Okay. Well, I have been told that I do not communicate clearly.
I would agree.
I would too.
What?
I would agree.
100%.
On this show, I communicate
some things
clearly all the time.
They don't be clear all the way through.
No.
What do you mean, sir?
You don't tell me exactly what's going on. You just say we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
But we're really gonna do something else. It's like we're gonna we're gonna talk to we're gonna contact the guest, and the next thing I know, he's booked on the show.
Yes.
Like
there's no middle.
No, today too. Like right now, he's about to. It's like 1:30. Let's go.
Yeah, they're gonna be on.
That didn't
today.
happen this time.
No, that didn't happen with you at all. We knew
let's
a long
that.
time in
Let's
advance.
say that.
This is not about you. But there's been times where like we're gonna. What you think about this guy or girl? And then they're booked.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about them.
It's not even that. We'll have like, okay, we have so and so coming on.
Yeah.
Next week.
Like, oh.
Okay.
Isn't that enough time if I said next week?
No, she's never next week. She's being nice. It's like tomorrow.
Or even like having a conversation of, is it okay for this guest to come on? Do we agree that this guest should come? It's just kind of okay, this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
And then our co-host, Neek, automatically thinks I've already agreed with Yusef. Yep. And sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, whoa, okay.
And I'm upset.
Because she thinks we're
leaving her out
against her, and I didn't necessarily know.
Conspiring. I think y'all communicate more than y'all communicate with me.
But maybe not always about the show.
Yeah,
you just communicate about other
conversation may come up.
Yes.
Well, here's some background to our listeners and Rob.
Yeah.
Me and CL talk about 3-4 times a day.
Yeah, it's about
because we have a bunch of different ventures together. And then of course there's a friendship, a close friendship that me and him have. Yeah. So we talk throughout the day. Like I don't think there's been a day we haven't talked. And if it is, it's probably because no, that's not the case. And if it is, it's probably because busyness, just life just kind of got hold to it. So naturally, some things we would talk about just kind of come up. Whereas me, I talk to her as much as
he has to. He doesn't. I'm not cared for it that much to feel like
as much as I have to. I mean, but I think there's people in your life that you talk to daily, and then there's people in your life that you talk to periodically. And Neek's one of the people that I consider her a friend that I speak to periodically. How are you going to tell me what I consider? If you
can't tell him what he thinks.
You're right. I can't tell you your experience. No,
it's not my experience. I consider you a friend. Like if something was to happen to you, I would be concerned. I consider that a friendship.
Okay.
That's
so there's so many dynamics that just came up in that honest thing, right? That honest thing just said at least two things really loud to me. The triangle, right? There's three people. The triangle is hard to balance.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one way to balance a triangle. There's got to be perfect angles in each side.
Okay.
What I'm seeing is that there's a connection between the two bros that is more than just the show. So that angle is not the same as the angle connecting to Neek, right? Like a perfect triangle has like, what is it? 45, 45, 45 or
45.
3 45-degree angles.
So what I'm seeing is there's a strength up there where there's more balance, there's more relationship, there's more connection, there's more history, there's more interest, commonality, whatever, right? Doesn't mean this other triangle is not valuable. This other angle in the triangle is not valuable. It's just not as strong, right? Then there's gender dynamic, right? And then there might be time of relationship, or why don't you invite me? Like it can happen in friendship groups that have a 3. It can happen in a family with the middle child or the youngest child and the oldest child. 3 kids all feel different about the way pops or moms or the family treats them. And why is it? Well, because I'm the youngest, I'm the middle, I'm the oldest. That dynamic comes up. There's also personality style. I think Yusef, what I heard is you made a decision and it wasn't a communication, it was a decision that felt like you were trying to include and give a heads up, but it was a decision, right?
Decision's already been made. Like,
I'm being inclusive. I'm being informative.
You know, information, but you did not include.
Okay, I have to do more. I have to be more inclusive. Is
before you move to their guest? I have an idea. What do you think about this? Is what I think you were trying to say. But then you made a decision, which didn't matter what they thought about it.
Well, here's
no. If they're like absolutely no, then you be like, all right, I hear you, but you got to explain it now because I've already committed.
Well, here's my thing, and I think that this is probably one of my issues. CL tells me all the time. I'm like if I think it, I'm gonna go do it. I'm not gonna wait. I'm
no plan.
No plan.
Just goal.
Just
a goal. No plan at all.
He's a go-getter.
Yeah.
I tell the story about when I started podcasting. I literally thought about podcasting one day. I went to Best Buy, bought the worst mic in the building. A friend of mine called me, say, "Hey, I want a podcast too." I said, "Okay, let's do a podcast." And it literally in 5 days' time, I was podcasting. It sounded like nonsense. It was really bad, but it got me here.
Yeah,
so I always feel like I'm more of I'm gonna go do it, and then I'll kind of figure out everything else later. And a lot of times, CL and another close friend of mine, Malcolm and Daniel, they pull my reins a whole lot. So I've learned to talk to them more. But when it comes to certain things, I still say it and then just go ahead and do it rather than maybe I need to wait for people.
No. You do need to consider.
Yes, I need to be considered.
An activity I do called the medicine wheel that came from indigenous, we old school was Indian, but they're indigenous folks.
Yes, indigenous.
Tribal folks, right? And they look at the balanced wheel, having seasons and colors that are not all the same. In the wheel, there are 4 animals. There's an eagle, there's a deer, there's a bear, and a buffalo. Eagle, deer, bear, buffalo. You sound like a buffalo, Yusef.
I'm pretty sure that's a compliment of some sort.
There's no bad seasons in the year.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think it's a thing.
Right? But buffaloes, the good thing about buffaloes is they're doers and they can push. The bad thing about a buffalo is that they run over people or they push too hard, too fast, too much, right? I look at myself in that wheel as an eagle. I'm a visionary. I'm up in the clouds. Sometimes the negative of a visionary, idea-driven people is that they lose the details because they have another idea. They're on to the next idea, the next cloud. They're not looking at what will it take to do it. And sometimes they're so caught in their thoughts or the idea, they're not actually helping do anything. They're just, I got an idea, let's go. And then the buffalo might be like, psh, and they try to make it real. The deer is about relationships. They're usually taken advantage of because they have a hard time saying no or creating boundaries or keeping boundaries because the relationship is super there. They care more about how does it feel when we go do this thing or build this thing and make this thing work as opposed to the thing working and the victory. They care about the relationship. The bear is the procedure. The book says this is what we should do. This is what logic says. I don't care what you feel. This is the. So I think CL's a little bit more.
We know who that is.
Yeah, we definitely know who that is.
We know who that is.
Every conversation starts with first, we got to take our feelings out of it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say all that deep, but I can tell from this conversation.
Yeah.
And I was Unique is a little bit more of a deer, is what I would say.
Oh,
okay.
Right? You have balance, but you're missing the eagle, which I'll be today.
Okay.
Picture.
Got it square.
Speak about the big idea, right? So we have balance today. But where you don't have balance is going to be where the friction is. There are going to be styles that work really well together, right? And there will be other styles that have natural conflict because this versus this. So in what I'm hearing, I think it's a great show, actually.
Thank you.
I would put money behind a show like this to produce it because it's going to have natural like gems and good times that come out of it. But somebody else is going to get hurt, and there's going to be some. I don't care about that. Did we have a good show?
That's generally how it goes.
Yes, I express my feelings.
That's generally how it goes on the show.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Did we get psychoanalyzed just now?
We did. I think it was very helpful.
Very.
Was I wrong?
No. I think you were spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah. Do we have to pay you for that now?
Cash after something. Something.
Slide your little something. Basically, he's telling me that I'm the yes girl. I just kind of go with what y'all say.
Is that what you took from
what he said?
Good question.
Like, good.
Is that what you took?
Yeah, he called me the deer.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the deer?
What did you hear that I say about the deer?
I heard that you said that the deer is the person that kind of just goes along with the situation. Am I right?
You're not wrong.
Oh, okay.
I said a couple things, but that's the thing that you
yeah,
pick one thing.
that's one, right? But that matters, right? If I say things, and they hear it in different orders or different levels of like importance or what lands. When you ask them, what did you hear me say? The thing that sticks out, they're going to say the most.
Yeah.
The nigga hurt. Yeah.
Okay.
But what was there was some good. What was the
I
good
didn't
of it?
see that was bad.
No, she didn't say it was bad, but I'm gonna tell you what the good stuff. Pluses: supportive, trusting and hopeful of others, invites others in, accepting of others at face value, allows others to feel important, concerned with the process, like how will we do this together, right? The challenges or deltas that deers come with is they have a hard time saying no. They assume blame or guilt. Is disappointed if relationships are second to task, right? Or sometimes easily taken advantage of because they have a hard time saying no.
I have a question here.
I thought you might.
Is that a show saying or a characteristic?
Is it a what?
A characteristic that you deal with daily, or is it just in the dynamic of our show? Because like when I'll just go say me, like when you said Bear, I think that applies to other aspects of my life, not just the show.
Yeah, and that was for me as well.
And me as well.
Yeah, I was.
We become who we are in those spaces. So like on the Lakers, I might not be the Buffalo. There's bigger and better.
It's a great team too.
Yeah.
Right? Love the Lakers, gang.
Yes.
But on the Clippers, I might need the
JV team. What are you talking about?
Did you say JV?
Yeah, the JV team.
Right. Like I might need to be something else on this team because they don't have a this, or I know I can fit that role. So yeah, in your life,
championship, they don't have anything like that.
Family and your whatever, or when things arise, you might put aside that role, that identity, that characteristic, and become the thing you need to be there. So yeah, we're not stuck, but we do come from certain places.
Oh, wow.
That was insightful.
Very, very,
very.
And you know what? My opinion have changed in the past few weeks. People that you see on the internet, some really do know what they're talking about. It's not just a scam.
It's not
just a scam.
Like 3 straight weeks.
Yeah. Like I mean, the people have been really like I've learned something today.
Me too.
Yeah,
the past couple of weeks.
Last couple of weeks, like right. I mean, it's when you CL says the internet's not a real place.
It's not a real place at all. It's not a real place.
But there are real people there.
There are real people.
But there are real people there that know things. And the thing about it is, when you have a podcast, I think the most difficult thing about it is getting the people on that are knowledgeable about what they say they're knowledgeable about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So a lot of times there's been shows that we've had to not air because
that one.
Yeah, there's been shows that we've had to not air because the person's personality, because what they said they could do, they came on the show and couldn't.
Yeah, they were talking about relationships. Said they were relationships experts.
Yeah,
talking about cryptocurrency. Like, what are you doing, my guy? We didn't ask you that.
So it's not a real place. That's
It's not. It's not. No, it's not a real place. No.
Or saying you're funny and couldn't tell a joke.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We had
funny people who aren't funny.
Like show was super dry. So and of course, we always want to put out quality content, and we always we were in here. Yeah, I hate it. I hate to say it publicly, but
it's pretty bad.
It was bad. I just think that, and with us wanting to do push out quality content to our listeners, it's always for us to get people who know what they're talking about.
Yes.
And over the past 3 weeks, past 3 episodes, we've actually had some really good, real people.
So thank you for being who you say you are.
Yes.
We'll appreciate that.
And I hope we keep a good relationship, because we would love to have you.
Oh man, I'm a part of the family now.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what?
No, we got the eagle.
Good job.
We got the eagle. We got the eagle. Now, that's all we needed. We needed an eagle.
Yourself good job on picking a guest.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I get it right every now and then.
There you go.
Now, how long have you been doing this officially?
Where I'm not doing like a million other things.
Well, I mean, the other things count also, because it kind of, I guess, gives you an opportunity to step away from this and take in some other information.
I've been doing group facilitation, conflict mediation, team building stuff since 98.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Over 20 years of this. Locking in where it was like, this is my thing. I'm not just doing it sometimes. I'm doing it multiple times a week. 2004.
Oh, so you're very well,
quite seasoned.
Very seasoned.
I'm like in here, and like where I go to different spaces, I would say like 2007, 2009, where I started stepping away from music.
Mm-hmm.
I was full time all the time. You know, like when you are an athlete, that you want to be in the gym, you want to watch tape, you want to be on practicing your thing. Like that level of commitment where it's not just I could do this thing and I do it. Sometimes locking in, watching tape, reading books, going to conferences, like really intentionally doing it. 2007, 2009 is where it got really serious.
Really serious.
Yeah.
And what I will say is it shows in what you've done on our show today. Like it shows you're extremely knowledgeable. Well, and some people take this as a diss or, you know, not a compliment, but you speak well, you know, and it's hard to find people who know how to talk.
Another thing, you ever have a teacher that knows the subject but they can't teach that joint? Like,
all the time.
He knows lots of teachers like
that. I talk to them every day. I almost had to try to get one of them fired the other day. So
you know your subject, you can teach your subject or talk about your subject in a way that people care about or can learn from.
And that's what comes into like teaching, coaching, like all that stuff is, can you get the person, are you good enough or well versed enough in what you're saying and passionate about what you're saying? Because you have to believe what you're saying to actually teach somebody something. You have to believe what you're saying. There has to be a belief that you have, or that you're not just there to do it. You're there because you believe what you're saying, and you could tell the passion and stuff behind your words.
Thank you, G.
Yeah.
And you have to be clear.
I didn't hear you.
I said I'm locked in the family. What'd you say, Nick?
Oh, I was just saying you have to be clear.
Yeah. There's a question we usually start the show out with all of our podcasters that we did not start with you.
Did not.
What is your relationship status?
Oh man, I'm avoiding all the things that look like that. Like I'm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, I'm just like.
I'm waiting to hear.
Yeah, on Texas, I say I'm single.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
We got to put him on the spot a little bit.
No. Now you don't want to communicate.
Well, we lost our ego.
I'm in my head like, how do you answer the question? Because I think when I hear people say, you know, what's your relationship status? I think what people want to say is like, are you in a relationship or are you not? And I'm in a lot of relationships. They're not like monogamous boyfriend girl. I'm a dad. I'm a business owner. Like I'm a lot of different things. I have a lot of relationships. Romantically, I don't talk about my personal stuff on.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I agree.
But I am 100% not married. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I lead with that.
Well, Rob,
I don't even post
recorded.
I don't even post my daughter on the internet now. Like I wish I can go back in time and not have posted my son. Like,
okay,
it's not a real place, but it is a real place.
And
I don't want to put my real stuff that I care about.
Yes,
crazy because it's timeless.
Okay, well let me ask you a question about that in regards to a relationship, because I feel like you feel. Yeah. My real life is not on the internet. Like these are just things that go on, but it's not real.
Yeah.
In relating to a woman or a man, do you feel any pressure that a woman or man would want that? Would want you to post them or put you in? Because I think it's protecting them.
Yeah.
Even at the line of fire.
Yeah. I asked the question. I played a game called Forced Choices or This or That on the internet. And it's for singles to have a conversation. It's like A or B. Sunrise, sunset, breakfast or lunch, heels or sneakers, basketball or football, you know, that quick blah blah blah. And in it I asked a question that was like, post your boo or keep your private life private.
I'm going with private life private.
My personal answer was keep your private life private. I think it's better that way.
It is.
I don't put my saddest days on the internet. I don't put my biggest wins on the internet.
Absolutely.
I don't put my children on the internet. You won't even know all my best friends. You might know something, but I'm not going to show the whole thing. And that's just the way I live. But some people are like, absolutely not. So your question of like, has it caused any pressure? It doesn't cause pressure now, because if you care about me and you respect me for my way, then you understand that it is not me keeping you a secret. It's not that I'm ashamed of A, B, or C. It is, and you have to respect me the way you want to be respected. So if I have a woman in my life who's like, hey, you know, I feel this about the internet, I will listen and we'll have a conversation. But your thing may or may not change how I feel or what I do. And I will respect yours. As long as we're not causing harm or friction to each other. So there's no pressure. Anybody else in my life has to love me and care about me and respect me the way that I want to be respected, or respectfully leave.
Okay.
Like, that's the go.
All right. Now, my question was trying to take us somewhere. So I want to go to our next. Your decisions made upon principle or whatever you make your decisions with.
Yeah.
How do you communicate your decisions without being dismissive
Of someone else.
of someone else's feelings? I'm talking someone who's involved with your life, a friend, family. Like, listen, this is my decision. This is a decision. Because I'm just like, hey, that's what's going to happen. You can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, how do you successfully do that with people?
I think it starts with the lighter, easier stuff first.
Okay.
Find places that you disagree or go in different directions that are not so based on core values or core principles, right? Like if we're talking about the internet, that's probably a serious one. Are there places where we can disagree? If you don't like the Lakers, but I love the Lakers, can we play and respect each other's differences in a way that doesn't cause pain to somebody?
Yeah, never say you don't like the Lakers.
Right. But there's people who I know there's people who are like Celtics fans, and that feels a way to me.
Those are bad people. Those are bad people.
Right. So we should be able to talk about and find the things where we're not just always in common, where we have the same answer, we have the same we have the same taste. We should find the things that are different and learn how to not beat up on each other or me make you feel like you're wrong for being different.
Okay.
The thing that you're talking about is I could take ownership for what I think or what I believe makes you feel. Like you might feel A, B, and C, but it wasn't about you. I made a decision about my life. You asked me a question about my life. You want me to live my life because it's mine.
Okay.
So I don't want to own you either. Like there's another place of like relationships where I go, falling in love is dangerous because there's a possessiveness that comes from it. You're my girl, you're my man, you're my husband, this is my relation. And that my stuff is where a lot of pain comes from.
Really?
A lot. Yeah, it's like ownership. You made me feel by doing the thing that you liked for yourself. Well, what was I supposed to do? What were you supposed to do? You live your life for you first, right? Like you're in your relationship with yourself first.
So you think it's healthy to use terms like my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my?
I get it, but the labels and the possessiveness is where harm and danger come from to me.
Oh.
So what other words would you use in place of that?
My favorite is beloved. I use the word beloved on purpose every day on the internet.
Okay, beloved. It's a good word.
It is. It's a scary word.
But that's my girl. That's beloved. Yes, beloved. Especially when I'm being sarcastic. Yes, beloved.
I bet.
Yeah, no. Beloved is a
beloved is
get somebody with a beloved. That zinger sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, can a person be someone that you care about, you connect with, you have like a future-minded goal for or with, without choking it to death with possession and mindness? Like, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And I think we do a not so healthy job of loving people the way that they want to be loved and respecting people the way they want to be respected. So to answer your question, like as a last, it's like, I think it takes practice to be in a relationship with someone in a way where I'm in a relationship with me first. You are a co-star of this movie. You are a guest feature on this song. And I want it to be a beautiful song. I want it to be a long movie, a good story. But don't come in here using your feelings, your ways, your beliefs to limit and restrict and shrink me. And I should not do that to you either. I want you to live beautifully and free and happy, and we'll find ways to do that together. And if something that I like or I want or I do makes you feel a way, we can absolutely talk about all things. But I'm still the star of my story.
Okay.
I like that. I'm gonna use that today.
Okay, then.
Okay, star of my story.
So when's the book coming?
I'm gonna put out a app and a book around questions by the end of the year. That's the goal. I've never put out a book before, but
Never.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
figure it out.
never is now.
Yes.
What I was always told. Yeah, never is now.
The living in the yet.
Yes. Now, on to a couple lighter things.
Yeah.
I definitely see you have Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
We won't even talk about Kobe because I might start salivating. I might, yeah.
I might cry.
Yeah, that's my guy, son. Like, my guy.
I mean, second is good.
Okay, you call it what you want.
Yeah.
Now, he's not better than Jordan, but Kobe's a different thing now. Okay, you
see the day.
Yeah, I see it. Kobe and Beyonce.
Don't talk about them too.
Two highs.
Yeah, yes. But the singing.
What?
Let's talk about the singing.
What about?
He said he was R&B. He said
he did R&B, not rap. R&B.
No, I thought you was hitting Beyonce. My apologies.
No.
But the
singing,
children,
the children's lullaby singing.
Okay,
is that like a secret not a secret passion, but is that the other thing to get your juices to flowing, or get you going?
So I said like earlier in our conversation that I was pursuing music to be behind the scenes, to be like the Quincy Jones in the studio, the Diddy the game, right? Like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna make it look cool. This is how we make people care about it. That went really well. Got really close.
Okay.
Getting the deal signed and all that fun stuff. And then everything fell apart. My son was born in 2007. January, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, breast cancer, May 2007. She passed August 2007. The deal fell apart and all that studio stuff.
Oh, wow.
By like October, November of 2007. It was like, bloop, 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 right?
That's a lot of hits.
Being a dad who used to make like great music, I was like, I can't listen to this kids' music. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yo,
how for you?
Yeah, yo, first of all, little kids singing like the person that's on the radio is not interesting to me.
It's just wow.
Right? Like, I want to hear not the best singer sing the pop song or the hit in the club. I don't want to hear them change the hook to a slightly more appropriate. I don't want to hear kids sing Umbrella Ella A. That don't make no.
It doesn't.
Hey,
right?
listen,
Make it a better song for kids to listen to. I can listen to Rihanna and Jay-Z clean edit. So, but I also could see as the business, I was like, I don't feel comfortable listening to the things that I listen to on my iPod or on the radio with my kid in the car. Like, I was like, that's not cool either. I think they deserve music that's for their development. Counting shapes, sharing, clean up, brush your teeth, wash your hands, Old McDonald. Like, there's a million songs you can make that are kid appropriate to help them become better human beings.
Okay.
Right. But it can't be people who also like go, you know what, a sell? Hip hop, R&B, reggae. Let's just make it reggae. And they're not really from the culture.
No, not
it's like me not like really knowing anything about Mexican food or tacos or nothing. I'm definitely not Mexican, but I'm like, you know what, a sell? That's not cool.
It's not.
So it's not cool in music. It's not cool in entertainment. It's not cool for clothing. It's not cool for real music.
Especially for food either.
Right. I hate that. And it's just something off. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'd be like,
Yeah, you can sell me a taco. I would be mad.
But there are black people who make bomb tacos. But
maybe okay. That's a whole nother
podcast.
Another conversation.
Right. So what I said was, when that stuff fell apart, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make my own version of kids' songs. And I'm not a great singer. Right.
Okay.
I have good ideas. My homeboys might be a better producer, better rapper, better writer. I was like, but they're not going to get it or care if I don't do it myself first. I got to see there's value here. We can get some money, or that it's important and they feel good to do it. So I did it in 2009, put out a project, and then I kept it like, I'm not the best singer. I need better equipment. Let's do it again later. But I created a whole idea. And that kids music thing, I was like, I want to do a whole show. This ain't just the music. It's not going to just be one singing puppet. I want to cast of characters. One that raps, one that sings, one that does other stuff. A girl who sings, a girl who raps, producer. Like I want a whole cast of characters like Mickey and his homies.
Okay.
Where I'm at now is you're seeing the first character, like the Mickey or the Bugs Bunny lead character, start, and then the other characters are going to come behind it. And I'm going to not only just put out the music, I'm going to put out my own show. So that is the thing that I'm super excited about. Like I said, facilitation pays the bills for vacations and clothes and the gadgets and stuff, but it also funds the equipment. Like I got a sewing machine in here for the second puppet that I'm about to start.
I was going to ask you about the puppet, but I thought that was your personal business. I was like,
no, I was going to get to the
I'm like, there's a drum machine right here. Like I'm
okay
in my studio.
So you're still going to do music?
Yeah, it's just going to be kids music. And for fun, I do stuff with my homies who are like talented, and I want to, make something that's awesome for them.
Okay, because that's the only real question I had about you. I was like, it's little kids, but hearing you explain it gives me a better.
Yeah,
I think we deserve better music.
Okay,
I can get it because I am because my kids, I'll cut Kids Bop on so they can stop doing whatever they doing in the back. And they would Kids Bop their way on. Oh, you want to hear some kids sing some songs? Throw Kids Bop on. They'll be singing every doggone word. And till they get, I don't know if the teachers play it in class. I don't know. But all I know is because the only time I turn it on, you don't hear it here. The only time I turn it on is in the car.
And they already know the songs.
Yeah, and they be going to town. And I just be like, and I knew when I had to go to Kids Bop because I was playing something in my car and Amir was in the back and he was getting it. And I was like,
all words?
He knew what words to skip now because I reached back.
Like,
he knew what words to skip.
In the rearview mirror, like,
I was there, driving, and then I was like, you know what? I don't need to play this when they're in the car. So Kids Bop actually, I would be a person that would, turn on what you got going on because, I don't like Kids Bop like that because I don't like the fact that
they change everything.
It's not that it's changing; it's just that there's no way for them to change it all the way. So it's still the same thing. And so they're still singing about the same stuff. They're just changing the word usage, and I'm not too down at, but it's better than me playing.
It's better than the radio. It's better than
the radio. So if there was something that was better than that, I would do that.
I'm sorry.
My goal is that the moment you spend with your child or that adults or like people who care for children, like the babysitter, the nursery school, the preschool, the kindergarten, the elementary school, Sunday school, the car ride, nap time, snack time, cleanup time, it should not be irritating to the person who's paying for it. If it is your car, if it is your TV, if it is your phone, you are paying for the Apple, the Spotify.
Yeah.
If you made a conscious decision to say, I want to feed my child healthy food, good quality water, good quality clothing, it should not be, I want to do something for them, but this is the only choice and I don't really like it and it's irritating. You should have choice. It should just be one choice. There's other people who do, versions of what I'm talking about, but you should have more than one choice, one more company, one more brand that helps you go, you know what I like? This version of this song, this version of the, like, you need choice.
Okay. Well, so you're not going to do like Kanye, give us these bad dates. When's the date?
Nah, I don't have a date for release. I release them when I release them.
Well, thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Release them when you release them.
I did a version of Row Your Boat that is crazy. So my homeboy is the voice of the character Lil Sleepy. That's the first character. Lil Sleepy sings lullabies, right? It's the idea that during chill out time or nap time or whatever, bring the energy. We're going to calm, we're going to soothe, we're going to vibe. We might two-step or snap fingers type energy, but we're not turning up. We're not Meek Mill intro, right?
Okay.
It's the slow down, calm down time. And we were, he was on American Idol. He's a phenomenal singer. We were doing Row Your Boat, and the vibe was so emotional because it was COVID time. We had shut down because of COVID. We weren't recording. We were supposed to have already been done. My pops had got sick. He passed away at 95 on Christmas. So he was 95 years old, but he had just got sick. All of a sudden, he was fine one day. The next day, he was like, fading away energy. something ain't right, go to the doctor. And that just was the emotion in the studio. Mac's father, his name is Mac Royals. Mac Royals' father had just passed away. So like the vibe in the studio to do the Slow Down song was kind of sad. And I was like, we're going to use it. So if you listen to the Row, Row, Row Your Boat, the message of Row, Row, Row Your Boat for me is like, life is but a dream. Right? Dreams end. You wake up eventually sometime, right? Like eventually you will wake up. The dream is going to end. But life can be what you dream of. So there's some positive in there, right? So the vibe of the song is emotional. So by the end of it, you got jazz piano and jazz bass and jazz saxophone. And it makes me want to cry every time. But I'm so glad we did it honest to the feeling of the studio, because people who have heard it have sent me messages on Instagram, like in tears holding their baby, like, this is amazing. Because we didn't fake the emotion. Like we really performed that song.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And of course the kids don't know, like they don't feel the emotion. They don't care about jazz the way we do.
Yeah.
They don't care about the musicianship the way maybe people who care about music do. But like that's what we're doing. We're doing like, is this for kids? Like I'm feeling emotion. Like that's what I think we deserve.
Okay.
Yeah. It's dope, man. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time today. We are going to have the Eagle back.
Yes.
As much as you'd like to, hey man, just hit me up. Hey man, what y'all talking about today?
No, we're gonna hit him.
We're gonna hit him.
Yes.
You sure?
We're good.
Invite me. I don't want to bother y'all. You ever just have somebody be like, hey man, you can come over anytime. And you'd be like,
Yeah. I'd be like, well, can I come over? Not today.
All right.
I'll let you know.
We'll do that then. We'll do that. But tell people where they can reach you, where they can follow you out on social media.
Absolutely. I've gotten the username Mr. Howard 365 on everything except Venmo.
Okay.
And Pinterest. You can find me on YouTube, Mr. Howard 365. I'm resuming my YouTube. I post a video every day, a question of the day to help you have conversation with whoever's in your life, strangers or your family members, your boo, your bae, co-workers. On TikTok at Mr. Howard 365. That's where a lot of the content goes for communication and questions. On Instagram, Mr. Howard 365. I respond to that. That's where the homies pulled up, and I was like, heck yeah, I would love to come on your podcast. So I usually respond there too. And on LinkedIn, I also post content that's like corporate stuff, like communication icebreakers for like business meetings and around identity and culture and stuff like that. So there's content there too.
Okay. So and that's how people can reach you if they want to use you for
anything. I'm on Twitter too, but I don't really be tweeting.
Okay. You sound like me. I'm on Twitter, but I don't really be tweeting much. Ain't much to tweet about. But thank you once again, man. We really, really appreciate you being on, man. And,
it was a pleasure. This was an amazing conversation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Z. Okay. All right. Neek, go ahead and take what you about. Go ahead, Neek. Go ahead and take us out.
All right. Well, we would like to thank our guest, Ron Howard III, for coming on and teaching us how to communicate with each other a little better.
Okay, dear.
Okay.
Hey.
All right, Bull.
You got it wrong because I'm the Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever, the Buffalo.
Well,
It's your girl, Neat Cruz.
CL Butler.
and your boy Yusef, and we are out.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Relationship Status. Remember, you can catch us on relationshipstatuspodcast.com, iTunes, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Nobody Grinds Like Us, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. If you would like to join the conversation or leave us a Dear Neek, email us at relstatpodcast@gmail.com or call us at 843-310-8637. Follow us on Facebook at Relationship Status Podcast, on Instagram and Twitter at RELSTAT Podcast. And don't forget to comment, share, 5-star rate, subscribe, and review.
The Relationship Status Podcast is sponsored by Unfiltered. Whether it's hoodies, long sleeve tees, leggings, joggers, or tech suits, Unfiltered has what you need to express yourself in any weather. Visit unfilteredforever.com and use the promo code RSP to get 10% off your entire order. That's unfilteredforever.com, promo code RSP. And remember, there's a science to being you.